So yesterday I made a video about the fighting game community and like sexual assault and rape and grooming that was going on within the scene. And obviously a lot of you know what I was talking about because you're on Twitter, but there's a lot of people that watch my videos that are not on Twitter or don't really follow the fighting game community, and I couldn't provide names yesterday because there was nothing really concrete. However, the situation has changed. So for those of you that were commenting on my video yesterday saying you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, my apologies. This video will hopefully provide a bit more context. Again, it's going to be completely unedited, so if I trip up over my words because I'm speaking too fast, my apologies. But without like beating around the bush, because some of you said I was rambling, let's just jump straight into what I'm talking about. So in the fighting game community, you have a lot of prominent figures, and at the very top of that, you have a guy called Mr. Wizard, or his real name is Joey. I think his name, yeah, Joey Cruella. I think I'm saying that right. Joey Cruella, and he is at the top of EVO. Now, EVO is the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. There's nothing that comes close to it. I know that it's lost a lot of, like, I guess, respect points over the years, but it's the WrestleMania of fighting games. This guy has been accused of making kids do weird things. So I'm going to play you a video from Mike Watson, who is another very old fighting game player, sort of explaining what he was doing, and I'll provide a bit more context.
There's so many fucking stories to tell, like, and this guy, let me tell you, he used to pay fucking little boys tokens to jump in the pool. Now you tell me, what is the story behind asking a kid to do something like that? Why would you ask a fucking child? We're talking like a kid. There's a kid named Token Boy. This kid was like, I don't know, I want to say like 13, 14, and we were like 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. He's giving these kids tokens to take off like their shirt and jump in the pool and shit, dude. Like, what the fuck is up with that shit? Dude, you can add, there's a prominent member from the FGC. I'm not going to say names. There's a prominent member from the FGC that everybody grew to love that's no longer here. You should know who I'm talking about, but I don't need to fucking bring it up. He asked Wizard for E3 tickets. Thank you, Mike Infinite. He asked Wizard for E3 tickets. Wizard in turn said, do 25 naked fucking jumping jacks and I'll give you tickets. Who in the fuck asked someone to fucking do shit like that? Like, come on, man. That shit ain't fucking cool.
So as you can see in that video came out like 5 years ago. It's a very damning thing to say about someone. But then this video came up today, and it's a very old video, but it's resurfaced given all the allegations. So take a look at it. And again, it's a very damning thing. And now you've got more people coming forward. Now, I'm not going to read out every single thing on this video because, trust me guys, you're going to be here until like midnight. There are so many allegations from so many different people that it will be too long to go through. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide the links to everything that I can find. Everything that I can find, like anything you want to know about what's going on that you might be confused about in this video, go to the description below. Read over it. There's so many. So you've got this guy who's in charge of EVO at the very top, and the problem here is that EVO is the head of like the fighting game tournament scene, I guess. Like they head up everything and they run the biggest tournament. So because of the recent allegations that have come out and the accusations of misconduct, Capcom with Street Fighter have pulled themselves from the tournament. NRS has pulled themselves from the tournament, so Mortal Kombat won't be there anymore. Fighting Herd, which was the My Little Pony fighting game, has pulled themselves from the tournament. Bandai Namco has pulled Tekken from the tournament. Everyone has pulled their games from the tournament. And obviously, the tournament can't run without its headliners. So, EVO 2020 has been cancelled. EVO's done. And Joey Coelho, Mr. Wizard, has been told to step down as the figurehead of the company. And I guess they've got some other guy that's going to step in and take over for them. There's a statement here. And it says, over the past 24 hours, in response to serious allegations recently made public on Twitter, we have made the first of a series of important decisions regarding the future of our company. Effective immediately, Joey Coelho will no longer be involved with EVO in any capacity. We are currently working towards his complete separation from the company and have relieved him of all his responsibilities. Going forward, Tony Cannon will act as CEO, so they've already replaced him. He will take a leadership role in prioritizing greater accountability across EVO, both internally and at our events. Progress doesn't happen overnight or without the bravery of those who speak up against misconduct and injustice. We are shocked and saddened by these events, but we are listening and committed to making every change that will be necessary in making EVO a better model for the stronger, safer culture we will seek. As a result, we will be cancelling EVO Online and will work to issue refunds for all players who chose to purchase a badge. We will donate the equivalent of the proceeds as promised to a Project Hope. I assume there's some sort of charity for people that are affected by things like this. But this guy was paying little boys to take off their shirts and jump into water fountains. And there's even a story which I will find and provide a link for in the description, where he was asking someone to show them pictures of his penis, and he even waited outside a cubicle for some guy to get erect to show him that his penis was a certain size. Like, do you understand how fucking twisted that is? It's mad. So this guy's at the top. He's been taken down. And as you can see here, all of these companies have released statements saying we're no longer going to be a part of this of this tournament. They need this. The EVO had to be cancelled this year, and a lot of people are saying, well, it's just one guy. It's just one guy that's committed these offenses. Why are you going to punish everyone for the thing that one guy did? That's not the case though, guys. By the time we reach the end of this video, maybe you'll better understand, but there are so many people that are connected to Mr. Wizard, and whilst we don't know exactly who has partaken in this stuff, we know that people know, and we know that it's the OGs, the older players, that sort of like run up the whole fighting game scene now, that sort of like they exist in like this bubble where they control everything. I guess that's what some people are saying, and that they are complicit and they are aware of the things that have been happening for a long time. The reason I'm not saying their names is because there's no confirmation yet on who it is. I have my suspicions on who it is, and let's just say if my thinking is right in who it is and who these people are, then I think it is so hilarious that these are the same people that called Low Tier God, who many of you know as the most toxic person in the fighting game community. But that is a load of shit. These are the people that condemned him. Now, Low Tier God may have said a lot of messed up things, and he may have said some transphobic things or some racist things. Those are all bad things, and we're not excusing saying transphobic or racist things, but they are not even in the same stratosphere as people that touch children. And this just keeps going. And there's so many people. It's not just the Smash Bros scene like I was talking about yesterday, but I'm going to show you something regarding the Smash Bros scene in just a second. This is so widespread. This is not a few bad apples. When I said to a couple of my friends yesterday, we need to burn this entire thing to the ground. The fighting game community needs to be burnt to the ground and rebuilt. There are way too many pedophiles involved in this, and like, if you guys don't understand, or if any of you are watching this video where you don't understand where this is all happening and how it's happening, I'll give you some context. Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Tekken and Street Fighter, for the most part, have older players because they are older fighting games, and they have difficult inputs, I guess, and they have older characters from a different generation. Smash Bros sort of brings together every generation, and I'm not saying that there's not newer players that don't play those other games, but it's really prevalent in the Smash Bros scene, where you have a 40-year-old man and a 10-year-old boy, and then it brings these two generations together, and it's completely unsupervised, and that's why you have this whole grooming thing going on. And again, I've provided links in the description below. The reason that I'm not covering every single one in this video is because there are too many to cover. But what I will talk about is the ones where people have come forward, or just a few of them, because there's so many people that have come forward. For those of you that know him, you know who Nairo is. You know who Captain Zack is. This story with Captain Zack and Nairo is so disgusting. And I fully blame both of them. Both of them are getting the blame. Now, Captain Zack is the minor in this situation. I believe he's 15 or 16 years at the time that this happened. And Nairo was 20 years old. Now, like I said yesterday, when I was 15 or 16, I was fully coherent in what I was doing. Captain Zack admits to being the aggressor. Now, this is not to take away anything from Nairo. In my opinion, Nairo was fully complicit in this as well. I don't even think that's an opinion. That's just a fact. Like, he should go to prison for messing with a minor. But Captain Zack should be banned from every single Smash tournament going forward. Like, he should be done. There shouldn't be any two ways about it, because this isn't the first time. Captain Zack had a run-in with another player called Ally, and Ally has been cancelled since last year. There was some sort of like paedophilic shit going on there as well. This is the second time. Now, you could argue that, you know, he's mentally messed up because of all these things that have happened to him. Okay, fair enough. That doesn't mean that he should be at a tournament. This is not the environment for them. For someone that's got, like, if someone's mentally afflicted and this sort of like grooming shit is going on, they don't need to be at a tournament. They need to be gone, and the tournament needs to be burnt to the ground. Like, everyone involved in this shit needs to be gone. This shit is so messed up. Do you know, I've got little cousins, yeah, and they like playing Smash Brothers, and to think that they might want to go to a tournament one day and there might be some creep that is hanging around wanting to do something to them. And if anyone is confused of what I'm saying, I am saying that in the fighting game community, and not just specifically the fighting game community, but that's what this story is about. But in the fighting game community, you have a lot of people that are grooming younger people. So if you're confused of what I'm saying, I'm being crystal clear. And if you go through that Reddit thread that I've provided in the description below, you will understand better. There are so many allegations of rape, grooming, sexual misconduct, do you know what, like the racism and all that stuff, that's a video for another day. To me, if there's a tier list of bad things to do, it's touching kids and raping someone is at the top. Like that is an irredeemable thing. And there's people on Twitter saying, oh, you know, go away and become a better person, go away and reform and then come back. No, I'm sorry, yeah. It's because it's not your kid or your brother or your sister that has been groomed and you're telling them to go away and come back and everything's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. Now, a lot of popular people have pulled from this tournament. I know Ketchup and Mustard have pulled themselves, even before Mr. Wizard got pulled from EVO. They actually pulled themselves from the tournament from commentating because they just didn't want to be involved in any of this shit, and rightfully so. They got a brand to protect, and morally, it's just wrong. I know that Maximilian was going to do stuff for Killer Instinct. He has pulled himself from the tournament as well now. Again, let me repeat it. For anyone that doesn't understand what I'm saying, there are players in the Smash Bros and fighting game community that are grooming younger players, that are sexually assaulting younger players, that are raping younger players, and it's been going on for years, and it's exploded on Twitter. And as I said, look at the descriptions in the comment section. It is massively widespread. Now, there's so many questions and so many things to run through, and you know, I don't want to single out Nairo and Captain Zack as much as they should both be punished heavily for what happened. There's also cases where girls are doing it to guys. Like, there was a 14-year-old boy called Popeye, I think, and he was groomed by a 24-year-old girl called Sinapie or something like that. Again, that story is in the description below. There's video clips of it. I'll show you the video clips now. So as you can see there, like it's messed up as well. Like it's not just guys doing it, although obviously it seems to be heavily dudes doing it. There are cases where girls are partaking in grooming as well. The Reddit thing, even though I've linked it in the description below, it is just growing. It is growing, and the worst part about it is it's not even all of them. I can't even bring all of the information to you guys. That is how much there is. It is so widespread. And it's not just Smash Bros. Like I said, it's the fighting game community as a whole. The whole thing is a mess. And the reason I started off with Mr. Wizard in this story is because Mr. Wizard is obviously the figurehead of EVO, the biggest tournament in the world. And he has a lot of players that work around him, that maybe spend time with him, that they know about him personally. They know Joey, not Mr. Wizard. They know Joey. And so it's like, you know, they must know. People must know what's going on. Now, someone put out on Twitter, I don't have the tweet because I don't know. I think it was Super Dojo. I'll look for it and try to link it in the description as well. Someone put on Twitter that there is a very prominent FGC member that is walking around that everyone loves, that is a massive pedo or something like that. And I'm just like, do you know, I used to go to fighting game tournaments and I went there to play games like I assumed most people would. And little did I know that this shit was going on like around me and I didn't even clock. And why would you? Even when I spoke to my girlfriend, she was like, this seems like the most innocent thing. Who would have known? It is just mad. But again, if anyone is confused at what I'm saying, please look at the links in the description below. Go through them, read them, understand what's happening. But to summarize, there are players that are in a position of power. There are players that are older than some other players that are grooming these younger players and having sex with them, raping them, making them send them nudes, buying them stuff, like coercing them into doing things. I hope that nobody is confused in what I'm saying. I thought I was being clear yesterday. Maybe I wasn't. I feel like I'm being clear now. I've given links in the description below. Again, this is an unedited video because like I just didn't want to sit there editing this. This just needs to get out there so that these people can be held accountable. But the other thing is that these people need to be like this. The police needs to be informed about this stuff. The police needs to be informed. This shouldn't be justice, like social justice. This should be a police matter. This should go through the courts. These people should serve time. This isn't a case where they get to get off with a slap on the wrist and in 5 years time we're seeing Nairo and Captain Zack back at tournaments, or Senpai or D1 or whoever these people are, man. Like, especially Mr. Wizard, like if he ever comes back, that's how you know these people don't give a shit. Like that, like yeah, I mean the links are all there. This is irritating for me because like I have little cousins that play Smash Brothers. My little brother plays Smash Brothers, goes to tournaments. Like, people are actually just disgusting. But if anyone is confused at what I am saying, if I haven't been clear enough, please click on the links in the description. These people need to be brought to justice. And I'm not telling anyone to go on Twitter and dogpile them. That is not the way this should be handled. The people that are making these allegations and these accusations with proof, because there's a lot of proof in the things that they're putting out there, they need to go to the police. Stop putting it on Twitter so that people can show up at these other people's houses and attack their families who have nothing to do with it. Because we know what people are like. We know how people get. Just take this shit to the police. It needs to go to the police. This is serious. This isn't some bad comments like saying a racist word here and there and you can slap them on the wrist and deal with them, give them a year suspension or whatever. This is pedophilia. And it's so funny that majority of the people that were saying, oh, Low Tier God is the most toxic person in the FGC are the ones that have come out as kiddie fiddlers. Like I said yesterday, it's the ones that scream the loudest that have the most to hide. But go and look at those links in the description below, guys. That's all I'm going to say about that. If more stuff comes out, and at this point more stuff will come out, I will keep you updated. But as it stands, I cannot go through every single one. There is just too many allegations. And you know, someone else put out there saying, someone put a comment in the video yesterday saying that I was being very vague. I was being very vague. I'm not going to say someone's name or provide links to something unless there is proof, unless there's receipts. But I felt like I wanted to talk about it because I was pissed off about it. There are receipts now, so go look at them. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.